Here we go. See how unimportant I make myself feel when I'm talking about missing children? I mute myself. I apologize. Hey, Wee, glad you can make it today, darling. So yes, we're going to be speaking about Stephanie Damron. I had a phone call I had to take. I'm going to go grab me a cup of coffee. Let's see if we can get some people in here. This is very important. Very, very important. So I'm going to be updating on information that we have now that we didn't have when I first reported on her missing. So give me just a second, you guys, and thank you all so much for coming in and showing that it is very important that we talk about these missing children. Okay, H. You go on and get ready for prom, buddy. Have a good time. Have a good time, H. Good for you. Go to prom. Go to prom and do the funky chicken. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Flies. Hey, Steven. So, let me tell you a little bit about the Stephanie Damra story. Okay? Now, she went missing in New Sweden, Spain. Spain. I apologize. I am not putting out misinformation. That was just me being a goober. Okay. She went missing in New Sweden, Maine. At this time, the FBI is offering a $15,000 reward for information. Stephanie is 14 years old and she was reported missing by her family more than 2 months ago. Well, it was more than 2 months that she went missing in September. So the article I'm reading is an older article, but there's a reason I'm reading this article. Okay, so the family said she was last seen walking out of her home and into the woods. We're going to talk about the living conditions for Stephanie and her 4 siblings. Okay. They reported her missing the next day. We will discuss that the family allegedly knew that or felt that they couldn't report her missing for 24 hours. Somewhere in there, they wasn't keeping tracking time, or did I say that right? Was not paying attention to the time, and actually it was a few hours later than 24. I think it was like 27 hours that they reported her missing. So Kimberly Milka, who is the assistant special agent in charge with FBI Boston, said that it brought in the child abduction rapid deployment team immediately after she was reported missing. So we do have the card team coming in again in the case of a missing child, which is always a wonderful thing to hear. That's just my opinion on that, okay? So, Stephanie's described as a white female with green eyes. If you guys remember when I first covered Stephanie, they were talking about that she had these beautiful, stunning green eyes and shoulder length blonde hair. She is about 5 feet tall, weighs 130 pounds. Last seen wearing blue jeans, a long sleeve blue shirt, and black Harley Davidson boots at the time she went missing. I will pull up the area and show you guys how in Maine, there are a lot of people who homestead, live in different establishments. They live in tents, and Stephanie and her 4 siblings were basically living in a situation like that. So Stephanie didn't have any electronic device, and her access to social media was limited. We're going to get into that phone. Stephanie had run away before. She's run away before, but so far no credible information or sighting since her disappearance. The FBI got involved, okay? There was a question raised on why the FBI got involved in a case of a runaway. The reason is because where the home is located, it is very close to the Canadian border. Okay? The FBI is, and the Maine State Police have come together and offered a $15,000 reward, leading to the arrest or prosecution of anyone involved in her disappearance. Now, let's talk about the phone. The phone belonged to her grandfather, and I am going to show an interview done with her father, and we'll see what he has to say. But yes, the state police and FBI have spent hundreds of hours searching for Stephanie, conducting interviews and following leads. Now they're hoping to appeal to the public to turn up some clues. Now, I have to pull up the map to show you guys so you can see the area, and the nearest, from my understanding, the nearest like gas station. Hey, Miss Mayor. Hey, Mishu, did I say hey? I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, sorry. You know it'll come back to me. It will come back to me, y'all. It really will. Okay, so I want to play a individual called Jasmine. I believe it's Jasmine Jackson. But this is on Facebook. So let me share this with you guys. Actually, I think they're showing a TikTok. I'm not sure. Hey, the mouse. So let's get into Stephanie. This is missing 14-year-old Stephanie Damron, father speaks. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. Oh, wait. What have I done? I apologize, you guys. I should have been prepared. I'm sorry. I'm low budget. I don't have to be wearing couture to talk about these missing kids. How about that? Okay, here we go.
This is where you can help, all right? Tonight, we need you to help us find a missing Maine teenager. On September 24th, 2024, Stephanie Damron, now 14, disappeared from a home in New Sweeten, Maine. She's not been seen or heard from since. We're now joined by her dad, Dale Damron. Dale, can you tell us what happened to your daughter?
We really honestly don't know. We were at a job interview that day. We got a couple phone calls, couple messages, where we live at and the way we live. The first few hours, there was no reason to raise a red flag. So we got the phone calls that she took off up the road, and we figured by the time we get home, she'd be back, and that would be the end of it. She'd be home. But
now I want to remind you guys that allegedly Stephanie got into an argument with her sister, and they thought that she was just going out to cool off.
A day later, we ended up calling the state police, and we still don't know what happened to her. We just want her home.
Do you think this is a case where she could have met a stranger on her phone?
I do. But the situation with the phone is it was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. We tried several times to connect to the internet. We could never do it. But come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was the how she ended up connecting to the internet. And that's what it led to this, is she found a way to get on one of these dating websites.
No. She got onto a dating website. No. Oh, no. No. Not good. Not good.
Or something like that we didn't know about, because we just assumed that phone wasn't capable of it, because our kids are raised, no social media. We live off grid. We keep to ourselves. We don't bother people. But we honestly do think that she did meet somebody online and probably pick her up at this point.
If she's out.
Oh. Well, it doesn't matter what phone you have nowadays. You can, if you want to get to a site, you can get to a site. Now, I had heard previously that, yes, she had gotten on social media, but I didn't know it was a dating site. So now, even with the location being close to Canada, I can see why the card team, the FBI card team, wow, you guys, that blows my mind.
They're watching. What message do you have for Stephanie?
Just come home. No judgment. Just come home.
Now, let's take another good look at Stephanie Damron.
And I'm sorry, I don't like Daddy's attitude. You're telling her just come home. Sir, I hate to say this. Trigger warning. She may not be able to come home. Kids are, yeah, they are resourceful, Mishu, absolutely.
She's 14 years old, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with green eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. She was last seen wearing a long-sleeve blue shirt with blue jeans and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. If you've seen Stephanie or have any information about her disappearance, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Investigators believe Stephanie is no longer in the area, and at this point could now be anywhere in the country. So please, OP Nation, if you know anything, you need to do, make that call.
She's a good girl. She's a smart girl. That's one thing I'm grateful for. I feel like if she's found a cabin out there or something, Stephanie's a survivalist. She knows all about surviving. She knows how to live off the land. Them kids can live off the land. but she's also very impressionable. Do I believe a predator could snatch her? Definitely.
Oh,
Do I believe she would have talked and trusted someone? Yes. Sadly, even an old man. Stephanie is so close to her grandpa. That's like one of her closest family members.
wow.
Do I think she'd trust a old man? For sure. For sure. Is that maybe why the neighbors that she
Emily.
chose to go to that truck was 80 years old? Maybe why? Maybe she had spotted that neighbor.
Wow. Wow. We'll try to find some more of the mom's interview. And I love that site that I just showed you guys, the OP. Wow, you guys, that is so scary. Dad mentions a dating website. That's horrifying. That is horrifying. Okay, so we know that the FBI is involved. We know that the card team is involved. And let me I want to get a picture of the area. I want to show you guys how desolate this area is. Yeah, Dad wasn't too emotional, was he? Okay, let me see if I can get us a map of the area. Let's see. You guys know I want to find the right area. Now, supposedly, even the driveway to their, I'm going to call it an encampment, okay? It's so desolate that the, oh shit, hang on a minute. I apologize, you guys, hold on. Okay, sorry guys, that was Chad, so I always answer my children's phone calls. So you're saying they were running from CPS in Texas? Where did you get that information, Bomba Cat, if you don't mind me asking? 13 is a very, very, very rough age. For sure. Hold on, because I want to find a picture of the area. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, it's not on that side. Now I want to find a good picture and show you guys. I may have to pull up Nancy Grace because she talked about it. So give me a minute and we'll pull up the area. Yeah, I would love to know where you found that Bomba Cat and if there's actually receipts to show it. You heard it on a podcast this week. Okay. No, I don't think it was a commune type of place, environment issue. All right. this is the story as so far, and I will pull up the map of the area. So just give me a few minutes and I will. So her parents are Lisa and Christopher Damron. They were going into town for a job interview. They left the kids with the grandfather. Around 3 o'clock, their eldest daughter texts them to say Stephanie left the house and they can't find her. She had gotten into a fight with Stephanie over chores. And Stephanie took off in the woods, right? She took off into the woods, which they are saying is nothing unusual. It's not, it is not, nothing new, nothing new. So Stephanie's mad. She heads out the front door. Grandpa says he tried to stop her, but when he noticed that she was very emotional, he let her go, assuming she was going to cool off and come back, right? So when Stephanie hadn't come back an hour and a half later, her parents come home to look for her. As you heard, I'm alleging that was her mother talking about how she could basically live in the woods, right? So mom and dad come home, they check the usual spots to look for her. They can't find her. So they're not thinking that Stephanie would have headed toward the main road at all. It's like a half mile leading to the street. Hey, Jenny, member for 3 months. Let me get Stephanie's picture back up here, you guys. I apologize. Let's get her picture back up here. Hey, May May. So, okay, they come home. They look in all the normal spots. They can't find her. They walk the half-mile trail to the street. And Grandpa and some of the siblings, this is what's weird. Grandpa and some of the siblings remember hearing a vehicle pass just a few minutes after Stephanie left. So Stephanie gets mad. She's in tears, walks out the front door. Mom, dad come home. They look for her, can't find her. They take a trail, a half-mile trail leading to the street. And Grandpa and siblings say, we heard a vehicle. Oh, I'm pretty sure law enforcement has the phone, especially when her father said that she was connecting to dating websites. So they kept looking, no sign of Stephanie. She's not responding to screaming. Again, she did not have her cell phone or her own cell phone. First thing in the morning, they report her missing to law enforcement. And the night that she went missing, yes, Mishu, it was very cold. Well, I don't want to say, May, that she's a new missing child. I talked about her a little bit when she first went missing. So this is new information that has been coming up. I want to, hold on a minute. I'm trying to find a map, a good map of the area to show you guys. Let me see if I can get a picture of the area. Hold on a minute. You guys know how I am. I want to find the area. Let's see if I can get a good picture of the area. Now, they allegedly lived in an area, I guess they had like one solid type of building, and then they outcropped like tents around the main building, which is, hold on. I want to try to find a proper map. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a good map of the area. I should have pulled it up, but I admit I was on the phone. I was talking to my sister, so I had everything else pulled up. I just didn't have a map of the area pulled up. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let you guys know how weird I am. Let me see if I want to find the want to find, here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Attention to the disappearance of 14-year-old Stephanie.
Let me turn the closed captioning
Stephanie was
on.
last seen on September 23rd.
No, my closed
Leaving her
captioning.
home in New Sweden on foot and walking into the woods behind her home. Stephanie's family is very concerned for her safety, as are we. And to our knowledge, Stephanie does not have current access to electronic devices and has limited access to social media. We are looking for help from the public in order to maintain a vigilance for Stephanie and to report any tips or leads that might be helpful to our investigation. Stephanie is a white female, approximately 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with shoulder-length brown hair, green eyes, as last reported wearing blue jeans, long sleeve blue shirt with black Harley-Davidson hiking boots. A photograph of Stephanie is available for publication, and you can see a picture here. Since her disappearance, the Major Crimes Unit detectives in our Northern Field Division, along with the Boston Division of the FBI, have spent hundreds of hours investigating her disappearance, conducting countless interviews, and following up on leads. The Maine Ward Service have canvassed the woods searching for Stephanie, but at this time, there's been no credible information or sightings of Stephanie. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit North is collaborating with the Federal Bureau of Investigation with this missing person investigation. Anyone with information concerning Stephanie's whereabouts is urged to contact the Maine State Police at 1-800-924-2261 or 207-532-5400. And you may contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. At this time, I'd like to introduce Special Agent in Charge, Kim Milka from the FBI, who will be making an announcement regarding a reward related to this case.
Thank you, Major. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming and for helping us keep the public informed about our efforts to locate Stephanie. I'm Assistant Special Agent in Charge.
Why drop your link, please?
Our hearts are with the family and friends of 14-year-old Stephanie Damron, who are patiently waiting for answers about her disappearance and are hoping for her safe return home. On September 27th, 2024, the FBI Joint Forces.
Well, the temperature got down to 10 degrees.
With our law enforcement partners to assist in the search. We are renewing our call for the public's assistance.
Yeah,
We are
I
here to
got
announce that the
you. Hold
FBI is offering a significant reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to her safe return or the arrest and prosecution of anyone involved in her disappearance. The FBI hopes this reward will incentivize anyone with information about Stephanie's whereabouts to come forward. Any detail, no matter how small, would be helpful. Stephanie's family desperately wants to know where she is, and we are fully committed to helping our law enforcement partners exhaust every investigative resource to find her and bring her home. Immediately after she was reported missing, the FBI brought in our Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, or CARD team. The CARD team is a group of highly trained and experienced subject matter experts on cases involving missing children. Investigators have conducted dozens of interviews and followed up on leads in Maine, across the country, and in Canada. Despite extensive investigative efforts, including a neighborhood canvas and video search, along with an expansive grid search utilizing canines from Maine Warden Service and Maine State Police, Stephanie is still missing. We will continue to assist Maine State Police with on-the-ground investigative, technical, and analytical support. We know many of you want to help, which is why we are asking the public to review Stephanie's missing person poster and share it on social media. Rest assured, we are working to find out what happened to Stephanie and reunite her with her family.
It's very scary to me that her mom said that she was so naive, maybe, with people in general, that she would be so trusting, right? The whole thing's taken another turn for me, hearing Dad say that she had accessed a dating website. Being close to the Canadian border, like they said, she could be anywhere. Anywhere.
So we'd also like to take just a moment and thank the members of the public and the media for their continued attention to this case. Your efforts in keeping Stephanie's disappearance in the forefront of the community are invaluable, and we do appreciate your support as we remain focused on bringing her home safely. As you know, there are some investigative details and strategies that are unable to be shared at this time, but we will do our best to answer a few questions if you have them.
Did she have a cell phone and leave it behind, or did she not have one at all? And if she did leave it behind, what does that tell you about this investigation?
There were no devices taken with her at this time, and she did not have a cell phone.
Did she run away before, and what is your hope that maybe that she'll run away?
So this behavior has not been uncommon for Stephanie, which is why I think the family waited a little bit of time.
It's okay, Bomber Cat. Sorry, you guys.
But in this case, for obvious reasons, since she hasn't turned up, slowly ratcheted up all the investigative resources that are present, in that area today for this reason.
We got some information about that there may be some concerns inside the household, no running water, things like that. So the children in the household at DHS.
No running water, no
Yes,
bathrooms.
thank you for that question. Of course, yeah. So in any of these cases, whenever we have a minor that's involved, that goes missing, or there could be an issue in the home, DHHS is always notified in those circumstances. Certainly in this case.
One of the flyers I saw said ties to West Virginia, Texas, and New Hampshire. Is that accurate? And if so, are those friends or other family members?
So the tips that have come in for out of the area, so there's some for Canada and other states. They're tips from the public that maybe she had a social media friend at the time or an acquaintance. So we just try to follow up on any information for those outside states.
Do you have any reason to believe that there was foul play? Because you said the card unit was involved, and then, or maybe that she's with somebody, or was there someone she might have been meeting?
So at this point, everything is still on the table for us. From her simply being missing to run away to the situation because we don't have any concrete leads or tips that let us basically in one direction or the other. So we don't want to leave anything on the table and not take something serious. So
Now, one thing I want to say, you know, we heard what her mother had said, right? This is just me, in my opinion. She left without anything. So unless she had clothes stashed or a jacket stashed, anything like that, I don't see her being in the area. And law enforcement doesn't believe she's in the area.
but at this point, there's nothing that leads us in one specific direction.
Was it verified that she went into the woods and with the dogs, or was there any sort of, hit or
Other
anything?
than the information that that's where she was headed, was woods, and that is also past behavior as well.
You haven't uncovered like any evidence of what where possibly whereabouts.
We have
I know you guys waited a little bit to do that ground search, to do that extensive ground search, with the members of the community. Do you guys think maybe you waited too late to do that in order for dogs to get sent, or what's the thought process on that?
They're talking about the
ground
dogs.
search with the warden service was only 2 days after the fact. Typically in a missing person investigation, you start with the investigative leads, and then you call in the resources that you need. So as a matter of
Bombercat, it's fine, honey, if you can't find it. Do you remember if they said why allegedly that the family was running from CPS in Texas? Do you remember?
following up, so no, I don't believe it's too late. And the wardens did a little grid search as well, so it's more than just dogs, it's also humans.
What about anything that has led to trafficking, sex trafficking? I mean, we're talking the northern part of Maine, which people think it doesn't happen there, but in your experience, has there been anything that could be connected to this?
Again, all possibilities of what happens after you're still on the team. We don't have any specific information, but that's what's happened. But we are trying to look into any tips that would lead us in that direction.
And because it's so far up north, I know you said you were searching Canada as well. If she was in Canada, like how would that process move forward? Like looking for her.
We would partner.
Now, I kind of want to rewind this a little bit, and I'm sorry, my phone keeps ringing. Unpopular today, where they're talking about trafficking, and I'm glad that was mentioned. So I want to make sure that I come back far enough. So,
Or what's the thought process on that?
So the ground search with the warden service was only 2 days after the fact.
they are talking about the ground search wasn't actually started until 2 days after she was missing. Don't forget, the parents didn't call law enforcement for, I believe it was 27 hours. Okay?
Typically in a missing person investigation, you start with the investigative leads, and then you call in the resources that you need. So as a matter of following up, so no, I don't believe it's too late. And the wardens did a little grid search as well, so it's more than just dogs, it's also humans.
What about anything that has led to trafficking, sex trafficking? I mean, we're talking the
Second one.
northern part of Maine, which people think it doesn't happen there, but in your experience, has there been anything that could be connected to this?
Again, all possibilities of what happens after you're still on the team. We don't have any specific information, but that's what's happened. But we are trying to look into any tips that would lead us in that direction.
Okay, they're saying they don't have anything specifically telling them that she has been trafficked, but they are still looking into that possibility, right?
And because it's so far up north, I know you said you were searching Canada as well? If she was in Canada, like how would that process move forward, like looking for her?
We would partner with the RCMP or the FBI to also have resources that we can partner with them on to follow up on any information.
And I apologize.
And the
but it's kinda
FBI
hard to
doesn't
hear.
typically get involved with, say, a typical runaway case. So people might be asking, why are you here? Is it because the family is concerned because it's been 2 months?
Well, I think in any missing persons case, especially so close to the border like this, you're gonna want to involve the FBI, especially in any missing persons case where we haven't taken anything off the table, nothing has been ruled out or eliminated. Crossing state lines is certainly one of those possibilities. And of course, that's outside our jurisdiction, so that's where we would really look for help from the FBI.
Okay, so FBI got involved because the possibility that she was taken across state lines. They were found drunk in an eating place, drunk. They left 2 other kids out in the car. They got gone with drunk in a public place and either neglect or abandonment. So they were in an establishment. They were drinking in that establishment. 2 of the kids were out in the car. We don't know how old the kids were that were out in the car, right? But no jail time. Okay. Okay. I'm going to remove that comment though, but thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Of course, there's always that concern. I think our hope at the beginning of hunting season is that a hunter might come across something that would lead us in one direction or the other. That has not happened. There is still a little bit of hunting time left up in that area, so I would highly encourage those hunters that are up there to be extra vigilant.
Although this was like common behavior with Stephanie, was there anything that, maybe the family indicated was different about maybe conversations or anything, like moments leading up to her leaving?
Yeah, we're really not going to get into those investigative details about, what was happening in her life in that day or 2 prior to, but at this point, everything is still on the table.
Everything on the table.
No, I'm sorry, I can't speak to what the HHS is doing on their call.
Well, you said she had a history of running away. I mean, how many times has she tried to run away?
I can't speak to that but for saying it was not uncommon. This was not uncommon behavior.
And you guys heard what he said. He's not going to talk about if DHS was involved or anything like that. So if they were not arrested for that, they weren't, I have to say allegedly because I don't know where it came from, but they were not arrested for that. And yes, she's ran away before.
Was there a history of maybe mental health concerns or anything along those lines?
I don't believe there was at this point. I don't believe that there was any history of mental health concerns whatsoever. But again, certainly, we proceed with all of these cases as if, anybody is under mental duress or anything like that. So if there was an issue, we certainly, wouldn't do anything differently.
What I would like to know is if she has ran away before, how long was she missing each time and where did she go? Where did she go and how long had she been missing previously?
Okay. Did she have a passport?
One more question.
Did she have a passport?
I don't know. I guess you can speak to that. I don't believe she did. No.
Did you leave a note? No.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. That is the end of that. Let's get that tab off of there. And let me come back over here for a moment. Let's see if I can just give us a little bit more information, and then I will pull up the area, because I want you guys to see this area. Okay. $15,000 reward. Hold on, you guys. I want to pull up Nancy Grace. She did a really good, I've got her on, her, podcast. I don't have her YouTube channel pulled up. Let me pull up Nancy, and because she shows the area and everything. So give me just a second. Flies, yes, I will talk about that here. Just give me a few minutes, okay? All right, hold on just a second. And I will pull up a few things here. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to Nancy Grace. This is these images that I'm going to show you is from Nancy Grace. It's teen girl Stephanie, 13, lost in the woods. And because I just want to show you the area. Okay. This is going off the main road to where they lived. So it's kind of not even a driveway, right? Well, the problem is if she didn't know anybody, if they were we basically have to say, right, that whoever she went with, if she went with somebody, and it sounds to me like law enforcement thinks that there was activity and showing that she was trafficked out of that area, right? So it is a very, very rural environment. There was a house near where they lived, but there was no one living in that house. They said I don't want to get it wrong, a quarter of a mile. A quarter of a mile. We can, okay, here's Dad. Here, I'll pop over here to Nancy's. I wasn't going to show any of Nancy's stuff, but Nancy's got a few things on there. Okay, Nance. All right, credit goes to the Nancy Grace. And I'm telling you, look at that picture of Dad. She was homeschooled. You did, Jenny? I know that it was stated from a searcher that the nearest gas station was like 10 miles away. Okay. Let's hear what Dad says again. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got it muted. One day I will put my couture dress on, y'all. I promise. Just not today.
Cheap $20 flip phone was the how she ended up connecting to the internet.
Again, joining me an all-star panel, including a
Okay, let me rewind it just a little bit here, you guys. All right, here we go.
the description of her is shoulder length, light brown hair, and I've seen repeatedly striking
Okay, Miss
green
Yu,
eyes.
be careful
Now, we
driving.
just saw her dad speaking, and that's from our friends at Patrol Live.
No, Nancy, I didn't hear her dad speaking. I didn't back you up enough. Nancy gets backed up. Let's try this freaking again. Nancy is talking about her deceased fiance, and yeah, she does that every once in a while.
Home, last seen by her grandfather walking into the woods.
Where is Stephanie? Who saw her go into the woods? We're getting a lot of conflicting reports about the last time Stephanie was seen, just 13 years old. And I've got a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. It was over 20 years ago that I last saw my fiance before he was murdered. I know what time it was. I know what he was wearing. I know what he said. I can identify his vehicle, his shirt, everything. I don't have a problem with that. It's crystal clear in my mind. So why is there confusion about what happened to 13-year-old Stephanie? Joining me in all-star panel, but first, listen to this.
Maine State Police and the FBI are asking the public for help locating a teen from New Sweden, Maine, who walked into the woods and hasn't been seen again. Stephanie Damron has turned 14 since her disappearance 4 months ago. Stephanie is 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with green eyes and brown hair. She was last seen wearing a long-sleeved blue shirt and black Harley-Davidson hiking boots.
There's a $15,000 reward, and it's climbing. And now we understand the FBI has been called in on the search for Stephanie. The description of her is shoulder length, light brown hair, and I've seen repeatedly striking green eyes.
Me too,
Now, we
Nancy.
just saw her dad speaking, and that's from our friends at Patrol Live. I want to see the dad one more time, please. Let's watch Dad, Christopher Dale.
It was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. Come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was the how she ended up connecting to the internet.
Again, joining me an all-star panel, including
Nancy, why didn't you show where Dad said that, mention the dating website? Did I miss that? Where did I miss that? I missed it. Where did I miss that, Nance? I don't know. Okay.
joining me an all-star panel, including a volunteer searcher who has been out searching for Stephanie.
Okay, that's what I want to get to. I want to get to the searcher. I'm not sure who this guy is, but let's see. They lived off of generators. There was no running water. There was no bathrooms, right?
A flip phone, one flip phone.
Whoa, no power. Why don't they have any power?
Well, they're using generators to run things when they need power, but this is off the grid.
Why do you want a generator that can go down? I've got a generator and I go test the thing every week. But wait a minute. If you're not going to have power, that's a lifestyle choice, I guess. But if you're going to use a generator and you do have power, what's the point of not having power? Do they not want any connection to the power company?
You know, it could be, and it could be just it could be cost prohibitive. They live like a half a mile from a road in a forested area of a town of 575 people. And this is remote as it gets.
575 people. 575 people. I remember you showing it before. Was he at home on the one he set it in? Yeah, the dad was at home, which is kind of weird, right? Well, mom and dad probably do have phones that can access, you know, whatever. It sounds like she would have friends around. The nearest house was unoccupied. Yeah, yeah. I don't know about the friends, but it doesn't sound like it.
Yes.
But I guarantee you the next door neighbors have electricity. What do you mean it's cost prohibitive? You know how much
Well,
a
and
generator
it could
costs? If
be.
you can afford a generator, you can afford a monthly power bill.
Right. And, according to them, that's what they were doing when,
Not
when
necessarily,
their daughter was missing.
Nancy.
What did you say about sustaining themselves? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get an understanding of how this little girl was living.
Yeah, well, like I said before, it's you've got 4 of their 6 children living at home in a home-fashioned yurt with no power, no plumbing,
Put
no running
him
water.
up. Whoa, wait a minute. A yurt. That's a fancy name for a tent.
Basically, yes.
Where are the other 2 children? Do we know where they are?
My understanding is that they're adults and have left the home and on their own.
Gee, I wonder why they'd want to get out of there. Tom, I don't want to get too far off.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to talk about the yurt. This is a searcher who searched the area. So I want her to tell us what she knows about the area. Here we go. I got it sped up, but I slowed it down a little bit.
I've done advocacy work for that relative for about 6 or 7 years. And she had a similar circumstance of being presumed to have walked away. And in her case, hundreds of volunteers searched her area for almost a month. And the stark difference in the response for Stephanie was really what called me to her case.
What was the difference, Christy?
Your EBT or SNAP card is now
Nancy, that blew my eardrum off. I am commentating. I want people to know I am commentating on this. If it's educational, that's what it's intended for. Fair use. Fair use.
Stephanie had no on the boots ground volunteer searches for the first at least 24 hours since the delay in reporting. And beyond that, a scale of even a third or a fourth of the size of what should have happened didn't happen for over a month. So there was a lack of real serious response that would lead you to think that she could be lost in the woods or had fallen and been injured, just based on the lack of volunteers and searching that was happening on the ground.
Okay, Christy, I've got a cramp in my hand trying to write down everything that you just said. That was a lot of information. First of all, delay in reporting. My ears pricked up when I heard that. What delay in reporting?
Yeah, so we've been told it's about a 24-hour delay, and we like to consider that it was actually longer, closer to probably 27 or 28 hours. The parents claim that they received the call that Stephanie had walked off in the early afternoon, let's say afternoon time. And the call to report her missing didn't come in until around 4 p.m. the following day.
We know a little bit
following day
about circumstances surrounding her disappearance, yet even the facts we have gleaned have become murky, but this is what we originally learned. Listen.
Stephanie Damron, 13, is one of 6 siblings homeschooled by their parents, Lisa and Christopher Damron. The family of 8, along with the children's grandfather, live in a rural wooded area, preferring an off-grid lifestyle. The children are all very familiar with the woods surrounding their home, with Stephanie spending hours outside for time to herself.
While their parents are away, Stephanie gets in an argument with her sister over their chores and storms out of the open front door. Grandpa tries to stop Stephanie, but after noticing tears in her eyes, he lets the 13-year-old go, assuming she will return after cooling off.
Okay, I'm trying to make sense of what I am hearing right now. I've since heard Grandpa did not see her walking off into the woods. I've also heard that what was seen is Stephanie walking into the backyard. Okay, Alexis Tereshchuk joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter.
Okay, Grandpa at first said that he seen her walking out the front door. Her sister states that she had seen her in the backyard. Whatever happened, she kept walking. Okay, let me explain it this way, and you guys let me know if you understand what I'm saying. If Stephanie had hooked up with someone on social media and it was set up that someone would pick her up, it seems to me that the argument she got into with her sister was not a planned event. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Right? That means, was getting in an argument with her sister planned out? And she knew what she was doing when she left? Because if this was just a spur of the moment fight, people, them getting into an argument, her getting upset and walking out the door, then how would anybody know to pick her up? So that kind of tells me, and this is just my opinion, it was about doing chores, Mishu. They got into an argument about doing chores, is what they are saying they got into an argument about. So, spur of the moment fight, which leads me to believe that this wasn't a planned event, that it was already, figured out to leave, right? So, do you guys get what I'm saying here? That would mean to me, if she was picked up on the road, that the possibility of it being just a stranger that she hadn't spoke to on social media or anything. Right? Does that make sense? I made it 3 states away twice. Yeah, it's a different world now for sure. So,
Alexis, which of these versions is true? Could they both be true? You remember, I told you about my former judge, one of the many judges I practiced in front of, but this one particular judge, Judge Luther Alverson, the oldest working judge in the courthouse, and I might like to add the best. He would tell juries, it is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth, impugning perjury on no one. In other words, 2 people can have different stories, but they're both telling the truth.
You guys understand what she just said? 2 people can have the same, 2 people can have different stories. It doesn't mean they're not telling the truth.
Right? Based on their vantage point, what they recall, what they heard. It can be true that 2 witnesses' statements can both be true, but yet they are diametrically opposed to each other. So help me understand what happened when Stephanie went into the woods and is never seen again.
So she got in a fight with her sister. It was over the chores they have in their property. Also, we're homeschooled, so she could happen to be doing her homework. It was school time. It was the fall.
Remember, her parents were not home. Her parents were not home.
And anything about that, taking care of the other children, laundry, dishes, anything. So she gets in a fight with her sister. She leaves. The sister says she sees her walk in the woods. Grandpa says he looked at her. She was crying. He wasn't going to stop her. Now, he could have just not turned around and watched her walk away. She has apparently done this a lot in the past. She gets upset. She's a teenager. She gets upset. She walks around the property. She kicks some rocks. She cools off and she comes home. So they weren't initially worried, is perhaps why they didn't call the police originally. And
after
then
27 hours?
Well, they weren't originally worried in the beginning. This is something she has done before. They've said that she has often sort of left and walked on her own. Again, they own a huge property. She could have just wanted to be outside.
Is it a huge property? Christy Rand, you have searched the property before members of the volunteers were blocked by the family, according to reports, from coming back on the property to search. How big is that property, Christy?
It's a good chunk of acres, and it backs up to another set of wooded land that could take you eventually out to a street, but it's going to be really dense and difficult to walk through. But just as said before, the driveway itself is over a quarter mile. So it is dense.
A quarter mile, that's a 5-minute walk, max. That's a 5-minute walk. That's not that much. I mean, you have to be walking slowly to make a 3-minute mile.
But, I mean, a 5-minute walk to the road That's kind of a little jaunt, right? I would think.
It's not even necessarily a driveway. So like this time of year, there is no access by vehicle. It would be walking only. It's not paved. There's no plow truck coming through in the winter like we have right now. It's snow covered.
Okay, let me understand something. Can I see the aerial shot again, please, control room? Chrissy Rand, I am looking at a 365-degree view. There's
Okay.
nothing but trees. I see exactly what you mean.
I want to replay what she says about the snow. Okay.
Driveway. So like this time of year, there is no access by vehicle. It would be walking only. It's not paved. There's no plow truck coming through in the winter like we have right now. It's snow covered.
Okay, let me understand something.
Snow
Can I see the
covered.
aerial shot again, please, control room? Chrissy Rand, I am looking at a 365-degree view. There's nothing but trees. I see exactly what you mean.
And it should be said, the neighbor directly across the street from them, that home is also empty. So walking to the end of the street, someone there, if she was walking to the road, they wouldn't have seen anything.
But the reality is, isn't it true, Alexis Tereszcuk, that canines were ultimately brought out?
They were, and they didn't find anything that led them to her at all. They didn't say, oh, it went right up to the street edge. We lost it here, meaning that maybe she got into a car with a person that she.
They didn't see anything. They didn't see anything. You're fine, Wee. You're fine, darling. I got my chat pulled up, so we're good.
She had contacted on this cell phone. They couldn't really find anything of her.
You know, I find a lot of this to be inconsistent, but what I do know is a 13-year-old girl is missing. Listen to this.
Stephanie still hasn't returned an hour and a half later. Stephanie is very familiar with the woods near their home, and they check all her usual spots, but find no trace of the 13-year-old. The family doesn't think Stephanie would have headed to the main road, but as they walk the half-mile trail leading to the street, Grandpa and some of her siblings remember hearing some kind of vehicle pass by just a few minutes after Stephanie left.
Chrissy Rand.
So it's about a 5-minute walk to the road, and Grandpa and a couple siblings heard a vehicle. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense that I guess you could hear a vehicle 5 minutes away from the main road. That's just kind of weird to me, right?
I thought that the parents went in town to fill out applications for jobs. That while they were gone, Stephanie argues with his sister about chores and she tears up and walks out of the home into the woods. Now we've heard she just went into the backyard and then suddenly disappears. Now I'm hearing that they heard a car go by a quarter of a mile away on the road. They heard a car go by. I'm also hearing the father say, we got the phone call she took off the road. When we got home, we thought she'd be back and that would be the end of it. When he says she took off up the road, does he mean the public road or up the driveway? What does this mean?
It's definitely concerning that at first the answer is we aren't sure if she would have gone to the road at all. And then we've heard a car near the road, and now it's that she took off toward the road.
So at first they were like, they didn't think that she would even go towards the road. She was 13 years old.
So that in itself can be confusing. And hearing a car on the road doesn't really, I mean, do we not expect to hear cars on the road? It was the middle of the afternoon. For all we know, that could have been a neighbor coming home, a mailman out front. I don't think there's anything significant to be heard from any of that other than discrepancies.
All right. I want to hear the searcher. This is what Stephanie looks like. This is what Stephanie looks like. The searcher, what the searcher says is what I'm trying to listen to here.
Timeline correct. She was not reported missing till the next morning.
The earliest confirmation that we've gotten for the reason that happened is that they were under the assumption that you needed to wait 24 hours to report missing.
So they're saying we needed to wait 24 hours before we reported her missing. Why would you be under that assumption? Were they told that at other times? when she ran away previously, was law enforcement ever contacted? What made them feel that they had to wait 24 hours to report her missing? Just a question.
And so they were supposedly waiting for that 24-hour mark. And unfortunately, they weren't waiting by the clock and missed the 24-hour mark before making the phone call. And as far as the quote saying that they were in the woods screaming and looking for her, you know, that leading up to that 24-hour mark, there are no neighbors that ever received a knock from them. If they were out looking for those 24 hours, it was not to.
Oh, they didn't contact any of the neighbors. Why? Why? If you took the trail to the road to see if she was in that area, why wouldn't you ask the neighbors, have you seen my daughter? Why? Just weird, right?
To a neighbor.
Hey, Chrissy, how close is a home to, say, for instance, a convenience store?
Miles.
10 miles, 20 miles, 1 mile?
Around 10.
I'm not comfortable saying for sure, but I would say about 10 miles.
10 miles.
It would be a lengthy walk for a teenage girl to be going to the local gas station on foot. Her closest neighbors would have been safer locations for her to go, where they have figurative Uncle Andrew who lives nearby. There are other people on their street that she would have been more likely to walk to.
Figuratively, an Uncle Andrew. And saying figuratively sounds like maybe he was a family friend or something. And I also would like to know how much traffic goes up and down that road. How much traffic?
Before attempting to reach town.
Okay, let me understand something. Tom Green and I both say the family lived in a yurt, which is...
Okay, now, I don't care where they lived. I really don't. That has nothing to do with this little girl going. The area has something to do with it, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to judge anybody who has a generator and uses it to save money. I'm not going to do that. Now, the no running water and the not having a toilet with those children, that kind of takes me back a little bit, but I don't know.
It would come in a way that it's built to last and provide protection from the elements and anything else you need to sustain yourself long term over winters. There are people who rent them for Airbnbs.
And I guess I have another question, since my chat brought it to my attention that these people have had overindulged in alcohol. Were they drinkers?
Anything and beyond up here. What they have, I call a DIY version of that, where they have a handmade center structure that they've extended with tent-like structures off of the perimeter to create a DIY version of a tent.
So they're living in a tent-like structure. Does each child have their own space, or are they all in one room?
Sorry,
they
guys.
have small, separate room-like living quarters. They wouldn't be what we consider rooms with our own windows and doors, but they would be separated from each other for a little bit of privacy. There's no indoor bathroom or anything like that. So it's not the structure that we would all want to see our kids raised in, but for people who are choosing an alternative lifestyle, it could be seen as fit.
When you refer to them as homesteaders, what is your interpretation of the word homesteader?
Possibly being off the grid like they are, using a generator when they absolutely need power, not using everyday amenities like the running water, but still having access.
And the thing about it is, obviously they did not want Stephanie to have social media. And so I'm also thinking about that. I would assume that they would have some sort of outhouse, Jenny. I would think that having girls in the home and boys, that you would want to make sure that there is privacy in that aspect. She also said that the children did have their own little areas.
To potable water to use for washing dishes or cleaning yourself up, potentially using animals and other techniques to, have your own garden, grow your own vegetables, process your own chicken, survive off the land and need as much outside subsistence as possible.
Okay, Dr. Angela Arnold joining me, renowned psychiatrist, joining us out of the Atlanta jurisdiction, voted my Buckhead's best psychiatric practice of 22, 23, and 24. Dr. Angie, I'm not judging. I don't care. I have lived in a tent over the summer when I was camp counselor in the National Forest. I have been in a yurt.
Nancy, admit it. You are glamping. You're a glamper. I bet you're a glamper, Nancy. I'm just saying. I shouldn't show Nancy Grace stuff because I kind of roast her. I'm sorry, Nancy. My goose kept me blocked in our outhouse for hours one night. You were 8. Dang. Oh, Lord, help me.
I certainly don't live that way now with the children and my mother living with us. But that said, I don't care how these people live. What I do care about is the fact that, quote, off the grid and homesteading, homeschooling, that gives a lot less eyes on the child. I can't even figure out when she was last seen, for Pete's sake.
Well, and my big question is why, Nancy, why are they living like this? Like it makes us wonder if they're running away from something. And this little girl at 13 or 14 years old sounds like she may be getting tired of this way of living. Oftentimes when people run away, they can either be running away from something that's going on in the home environment, or they can also actually be running towards something that they're looking for. Okay, so remember that they could be running away or towards something else. So we're all questioning this way of life. What about the other 4 children? Are they questioning this way of life? I mean, you become
Dr. Angie, I'm not questioning their way of life. This is America. It's not communist China where they know everything you're thinking and doing.
But is the little girl questioning their way of life? And is she running away from something that's going on in the home? Or is she running towards something, another way of life that she would prefer to live? That's my question.
That's a great statement that this lady makes. Was she running away from something or towards something? That makes I guess that's what I was trying to say earlier. I'm just not a psychiatrist and I didn't say it properly. Was she running away or to? That makes a big difference. Big difference.
All of this, because I don't believe we have enough information past that. The girl is gone. Was she running away from something or was she running towards something? Okay, Nancy? And all we know is that little girl is gone.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve unsolved homicide.
I was not expecting to play Nancy Grace. I'm not going to play a lot more of her. I want to hear what the searcher says. Talk to me, talk to me. Okay, I'm listening to her. I think it's very important what she tells us. She was there. She was there.
Credible reports of her being seen in town or in their closest city or anywhere else in the state. It was important to make sure that if she had taken her adventure in the woods to go cool off, that she had not fallen, tripped, gotten injured, or anything of the sort, and just was unable to reach help.
You stated that neighbors did not hear anyone calling out her name or screaming or going door to door looking for her?
No, so no neighbors heard anything that 24-hour period delay of reporting her missing, that they were out screaming in the woods looking for her. Neighbors heard nothing. They also never received a knock on their door from dad or mom. The neighbors actually, the first knock they received was from authorities days later, asking.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Her being a more than one-time runaway, do you think that they didn't go looking for her right away? I want to know, previously when she ran away, how long was she gone? Because I think that would answer the question on mom and dad immediately going to look for her after they got home, right? An hour and a half. What if mom and dad was like, been there, done that, and she'll come home when she wants? So with my chat mentioning CPS being involved in a prior incident, could the parents have not wanted to call law enforcement, where law enforcement maybe would see conditions unsuitable for children? I don't know. No, CPS had not been there, Jenny. No. No. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that, because that's what happens when I no. From my understanding, CPS had ever been there. It was a previous case that was talked about in chat in Texas, where mom and dad in a restaurant or establishment, 2 kids are left out in the vehicle, they get intoxicated, and trouble starts there for them. But if that is the case, they were not arrested for that. They were not arrested for that. So I don't know. Like I said, I am not saying that this is the case, because I wasn't there. I don't know. But what if mom and dad knew she had done this before, like I said, been there, done that, and they just sat back and waited for her to come home? This is what interests me. They're at job interviews, and they know that she had run away before, right? So why this time did they come directly home? Right?
For video footage and if they have seen anything.
To Tom Green joining me, owner of Nevada Investigative Services and former chief deputy in Washoe County, I want you to hear again what the father is saying.
It was not her fault.
Okay, wait. I'm going to slow this down a little bit, okay? Nancy's playing what the father again said.
Investigative Services and former chief deputy in Washoe County. I want you to hear again what the father is saying.
It was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. Come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was the house she ended up connecting to the internet.
Okay, I want to analyze that. And
I don't understand why Nancy's not playing the part where he talks about the dating site. I played that for you guys, where he said how she got connected to a dating site. Yeah, she cut that off. Why?
And you're seeing that video from our friends at On Patrol Live. To connect to the internet, of course, you have to have Wi-Fi. If you don't have electricity and you don't have an indoor bathroom, is it consistent that grandpa has an quote old simple phone that connects to the internet? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, where was she connecting to the internet at? Where is she connecting to the internet at? Well, it is out there, Jenny. I mean, once you say something on the internet, it's there forever. And the interview that I showed, absolutely, he said a dating site. I'll go back and show it again.
Not exactly, but what also doesn't make sense to me is the mom and dad said they received a call about her going missing. How did that call occur? Did it occur from the property? Did it come from a
Thank
neighbor?
you.
Did somebody
That's
drive
what
to
I
town?
asked.
We don't know how close the nearest cell tower is to their home. You know, theoretically, you could get data and access the internet on a device that's capable of doing those things if you're in range of a cell tower. Maybe a
Yes.
neighbor has Wi-Fi. We just don't know.
Yes.
I think I know about the call. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alexis and Christy. After she went out the door, after a spat with her sister regarding chores, apparently someone, I guess the grandpa, someone called the mom and dad who say they were in town filling out a job application and said,
And that's what gets me. They knew that this is something she would do when she got upset. This is something that she would do when she got upset, they said. So why was this time different? Did they call mom and dad every time that she would get upset and walk out the door and mom and dad were gone? Did they call them every time? Why was this time more important? Do you guys get what I'm saying? People can buy hotspot data. I want to buy some hotspot data. Sounds like a hot spot. I want to go hang at the hot spot. For real. All right, just a momentarily little, sometimes when we're talking about bad things, we got to make a little bit of light of something. What was the urgency exactly?
she stormed out. They believe, well, she'll be back in an hour and a half or so when we get home. They come home, she's not there. I'm assuming that call came from grandpa's flip phone. Is that your understanding, Alexis Tereszcuk?
Yes, it is. And there haven't been any reports saying she took grandpa's phone. They've always admitted that grandpa has a phone. And just because it was a flip phone doesn't mean it can't make calls. So they called the parents with the flip phone.
What about it, Christy Rand?
Yes, I believe that's exactly what we've been told as well, that he had a flip phone, that Stephanie was commonly using it, but did not take it with her when she left that day. And
so this is what I want to understand too. Drop his link for me, Flies. Would you? Why wouldn't Grandpa know? Did he just let her have the phone all the time and didn't use it? Or if she was using it and Grandpa using it, wouldn't you think Grandpa would know what she was looking at? Maybe not. That's weird to me. That is weird.
We are unclear on whether or not the phone call happened immediately as she was walking away, or if they waited 20 or 30 minutes to connect to service, connect to Wi-Fi, get to a neighbor's house to make the call. It's unclear how soon that call happened.
So to your knowledge, do they have internet access there? Do they have Wi-Fi? I mean, they don't have a commode. I'm not judging.
I
don't care.
I'm
just trying to figure out, if you don't have a commode, you have Wi-Fi? What?
Hey, husbands.
Nancy, just because they don't have a commode. Hey, I got a question. Would you rather have Wi-Fi or a toilet? Jenny says, I'm on a hotspot right now. It goes out when it's cloudy and you're in the woods. Internet is not serviced here. Only this hotspot works or satellite. Thank you, Flies. So you're out there in the boonies, as we say, right, Jenny?
And we're unable to get a clear answer as to whether or not they had it. But if you notice the on patrol interview that Dad has done, he appears to be recording that video from the yurt. And as far as we know, it appears like it may be live. So for that to be possible, there's some type of Wi-Fi connection. Whether
Flies would rather have her Wi-Fi because she can dig a hole. That's right. You're in the sticks, Jenny.
it's coming from a hotspot or a cell phone, he is in that yurt, it appears, and clearly has a device that he can use to record a video and send to On Patrol. So there must be some way to connect to the internet via a phone, a hotspot, or a Wi-Fi router.
Okay, yeah, and you're seeing that video from our friends at On Patrol Live that spoke to the dad. Chris.
Now that's what I showed you guys. The On Patrol Live is what I showed you guys for sure. That is, I don't know if I really need to show anything else here. Thank you, Nancy. That is very kind of you. I do want to show you guys the area again. I'm going to go back and get Dad's interview. And I want to hear Dad's interview. Okay, Nancy did have really good pictures of the area, though. And I mean, wow, look at that. We see one home here. And this is her last known location. That's interesting. I don't want to forget about the uncle. I don't want to forget about the uncle. Also, did you notice when Mom was talking about it, and I'm going to try to find her interview also. I don't know if she spoke to the same individuals. I forgot what I was going to say. All right, I'm sorry. Sorry. Let me get Dad's interview back up here. And it was on Facebook, if I remember correctly. Let me pull it up here. I am not a Facebooker, you guys, at all. At all. So I need to find it. Where are they? Why am I not finding it now? I'm mad at myself. Well, hang on. Let me hear who Nancy gives credit to for the, and I'll pull it back up.
By Dale himself, explaining that no one was welcome to return without a warrant or permission. And so that is
what? Let's back that up. I'm sorry, you guys. That's what happens when I flip through stuff. I told you what the searcher has is what I wanted to hear. Okay. There haven't been any reports saying she took Grandpa's phone. Can I ask you, do you think she would be scared in the woods at night? I mean, she is 13. But if she is, I guess, as has knowledge of the woods, and that's a good question, Is she comfortable enough to go stay? Did you hear the mom say, and I promise I'm pulling it back up. Did you hear the mom say that maybe she found a cabin somewhere?
So they've always admitted that grandpa has a phone, and just because it was a flip phone doesn't mean it can't make calls. So they called the parents with the flip phone.
What about it, Christy Rand?
Yes, I believe that's exactly what we've been told as well, that he had a flip phone, that Stephanie was commonly using it, but did not take it with her when she left that day. And we are unclear on whether or not the phone call happened immediately as she was walking away, or if they waited 20 or 30 minutes to connect to service, connect to Wi-Fi, get to a neighbor's house to make the call. It's unclear.
So law enforcement, I'm sure, knows. Well, no, they wouldn't know. I'm sure that they have these phones. I'm sure that they have looked at these phones.
Of how soon that call happened.
So to your knowledge, do they have internet access there? Do they have Wi-Fi? I mean, they don't have a commode. I'm not judging. I don't care. I'm just trying to figure out, if you don't have a commode, you have Wi-Fi? What?
We've asked about the Wi-Fi and we're unable to get a clear answer as to whether or not they had it. But if you notice the on patrol interview that Dad has done, he appears
on patrol. Thank you, ma'am. Because I forgot which side it was.
To be recording that video from the yurt. And as far as we know,
that's what they're saying. Dad seems to be on that YouTube channel in the home. Thank you, Flies, for giving Nancy credit again.
No, it appeared like it may be live. So for that to be
no, I'm not, Flies. I promise I'm not.
Possible, there's some type of Wi-Fi connection, whether it's coming from a hotspot or a cell phone. He is in that yurt, it appears, and clearly has a device that he can use to record a video and send to on patrol. So there must be some way to connect to the internet via a phone, a hotspot, or a Wi-Fi router.
Okay, yeah, and you're seeing that video from our friends at On Patrol Live that spoke to the dad. Christy, and everybody on the panel, jump in if you have insight onto this. Is it true search teams were ultimately barred from searching the property?
Yes, we have search teams that were denied access after the first initial searches. There was a series of events that went down that became hostile. We were denied access to the property without a warrant.
Whoa, no way. Why? Did you guys just hear what she said? Did you just hear what she said? I'm going to slow it down some. Why? I told you I was very interested in what this searcher had to say. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Yeah, he can hang out in here whenever he wants. Okay, sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay, wow. Okay, let me get my earbud back in. No way I would access somebody searching for my child.
That has done, he appears to be recording that video from the yurt. And as far as we know, it appeared like it may be live. So for that to be possible, there's some type of Wi-Fi connection, whether it's coming from a hotspot or a cell phone. He is in that yurt, it appears, and clearly has a device that he can use to record a video and send to on patrol. So there must be some way to connect to the internet via a phone, a hotspot, or a Wi-Fi router.
Okay, yeah, and you're seeing that video from our friends at On Patrol Live that spoke to the dad. Christy, and everybody on the panel, jump in if you have insight onto this. Is it true search teams were ultimately barred from searching the property?
Yes, we have search teams that were denied access after the first initial searches. There was a series of events that went down that became hostile. We were denied access to the property without a warrant. And I believe there was a Facebook post made in the Mysteries of Maine group by Dale himself explaining that no one was welcome to return without a warrant or permission. And so that is part of why we created the, I don't think he needed a reason.
But I mean,
And
I would want
Wow.
everybody
Business if
and
we
their
had one.
brother and sister looking for my child. I don't understand.
This is
Why would
crazy.
you bar searchers from looking for your child?
I'm going to just try to keep that there's a possibility he is extremely uncomfortable with the press and his own reasons, may just want official search teams to be there and maybe only wants FBI and police to be on his property.
You know what? If that is the reason why the father said, I don't want any extra search teams out there, can you guys understand that? Can you guys understand that? Look what happened in another case. So if that is the reason that they've decided they didn't want a lot of extra people coming out on their property, that's interesting.
From now on, it also could be extremely uncomfortable for them as parents to have us volunteers coming out to search for Stephanie and also asking questions, you know, about the electricity, the Wi-Fi connection, whether or not there was cell service. Because of course, when you have a dozen volunteer searchers invited to your property, all of us are going to be bringing our smartphones, using maps and devices to communicate with each other. So it was fairly instantly that volunteers were able to determine there's no cell service here. So
okay, so I have to say this. If this family, if they're trying to raise their family off grid, that means that they want to keep things private, and having people you don't know come on your property, ask you question after question after question. Can you understand that? Because let me ask you this. If someone you knew went missing, searchers come to search for her, why those type of questions? If they don't have Wi-Fi, why do you as searchers need to know why they don't have electricity? Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe they feel that way. I don't know.
where is this phone call coming from and how did this all work?
All right, Nance. I'm gonna get over to Dad again. I don't think the searcher comes back on. Okay, let me get over into my Facebook and pull up this interview with Dad again. And they are called On Patrol Live. You guys check out On Patrol Live on Facebook, please. I've played On Patrol stuff before. Hang on. Like I said, I'm not a Facebooker, so let me put Stephanie's name in there. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me see here. On Patrol Live. Where's it at though? That's not what I'm looking for. All right, let me do this. Why do I pull shit up and then I get rid of it? Here we go. Let me see. No, that's the one I just... How come when I'm looking for something, I never can freaking find it? The first thing that pops up is her banner from, wait, this is where I found it, I think. No, that's not where I found it. I could kick myself in the tush tush. Usually, if there's a Facebook, I can get to it. Let me try. Thank you, Flies. Lord have mercy, girl. Hey, I say I research. I don't say that that it doesn't take me 5 hours to find something. Flies is just, she quick. She is quick. All right, give me a sec. I gotta get some of these tabs off here, y'all. Just give me a sec. I got way too many tabs pulled up right now. All right. I'm slow today. I'm in the slowdy mode. I need to break down, start making something for this freaking cold I got. All right, Flies, where are you at? No, that's Nancy. Here we go. Thank you, Flies. I appreciate you a whole lot. That's the one I pulled up. I can't find it. That's the one I pulled up. Let me see. Hold on. There's the wildfires, because that's got what's his name in it. And I don't think that's the one I had. Is this it? I don't think so. Marcus. His name's Marcus. Let me here. I'm gonna try it this way because that's not pulling up what I'm looking for. I got it. Here we go. I don't know why I didn't do this to start with. Here we go. Here we go. This is from, we're going to do the missing and unsolved from Maine, where he says, here I got it. I got it, you guys. Hang on. I got it back. I found it. See, it might take me a minute, but I find what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. This is the interview from Dad. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Closed captions are off. We're going to put it on the English. Okay, here we go. This is the interview of Dad.
We need you to help us find a missing Maine teenager. On September 24th, 2024, Stephanie Damron, now 14, disappeared from a home in New Sweden, Maine. She's not been seen or heard from since. We're now joined by her dad, Dale Damron. Dale, can you tell us what happened to your daughter?
We really honestly don't know. We were at a job interview that day. We got a couple phone calls, couple messages, you know, where we live at and the way we live. The first few hours, there was no reason to raise a red flag. So we got the phone calls that she took off up the road, and we figured by the time we get home.
Okay, the first few hours, they didn't think it was important. The first few hours, he's saying.
Home, she'd be back, and that would be the end of it. She'd be home. But a day later, we ended up calling the state police, and we still don't know what happened to her. We just want her home.
Do you think this is a case where she could have met a stranger on a phone?
I do. But the situation with the phone is it was not her phone. It was her grandfather's phone. We had bought an old simple phone. We didn't even know it could connect to the internet. We tried several times to connect to the internet. We could never do it. But come to find out, this cheap $20 flip phone was the how she ended up connecting to the internet. And
what are you talking on now? That cheap flip phone? Is that what he's talking on now? Sure seems like it connect to the internet. He's saying it's grandpa's phone. Okay. Rosie, how are you? How are you, Rosie? Okay, so that's interesting.
that's what it led to this, is she found a way to get on one of these dating websites or something like that.
She found a way to get on one of these dating websites or something like that. Yeah, all of this isn't making a lot of sense to me, to be honest.
That we didn't know about because we just assumed that phone wasn't capable of it because our kids are raised, you know, no social media. We live off grid. We keep to ourselves. We don't bother people. But we honestly do think that she did meet somebody online and probably pick her up at this point.
If she's out there watching, what mess?
So that's what I'm saying. It's weird to me because of the fact that did Stephanie intentionally get in a fight with her sister because she knew that someone was going to be meeting her and picking her up at a certain time? That's interesting, right? There's a difference between it being a spur of the moment thing and maybe if Grandpa's seen her with tears in her eyes, right? Thank you, Flies. Thank you. Yes, please go over to the Find Stephanie Damron Facebook group. Please go over and check it out, you guys. I'm going to. I am. Thank you, Flies.
Message do you have for Stephanie?
Just come home. No judgment. Just come home.
No judgment. Just come home. No judgment. What does that say to you when you hear that? What does that say to you when you hear Dad say no judgment? No judgment, just come home. What are you judging her for? What does she need judged on? What does she need? Why would she be judged? Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I say that? What has she done that you feel you need to tell her that there's no judgment if she comes home because she got in a fight with her sister. Okay, I get what you're saying, maybe he meant it as in you're not going to get in trouble, just come home. Right? Maybe I'm thinking of it a little different than everybody else. So, okay. Verbiage. Just verbiage, maybe.
Now, let's take another good look at Stephanie Damron.
And I'm going to finish showing this again. I'm going to do another live on her, and we're going to talk about the mother a little bit, and I will research the DFC, or we call it CPS, DFS. So I think he's just describing. Dad's words were very, I'm going to see where we can find the interview with Mom. Let's see if we can find who did the interview with Mom. And then I will talk about this again, and I'll pull up both of their interviews that I can find.
You know what you need to do. Make that call.
She's a good girl. She's a smart girl. That's one thing I'm grateful for. I feel like if she's found a cabin out there or something, Stephanie's a survivalist. She knows all about.
So Mom wants to believe that Stephanie's found a cabin or something out there. But I would think that even a 13-year-old being a survivalist would have to, they said the first gas station was like 10 miles away. 10 miles away. Maybe that's what Mom wants to believe. And you know what? If Mom wants to believe that way, everyone should let her believe that way. For sure. I would never contact this woman and say, you know, you shouldn't think this way. Things are showing us differently. And maybe law enforcement is, you know, preparing the family for a not happy result. Unfortunately, you know how social media is. And I probably can't imagine what people have said to this mother as of now. So maybe that's why they do not want anyone searching the area but proper authorities. I'm just saying.
Out surviving, she knows how to live off the land. Them kids can live off the land. But she's also very impressionable.
This I want you guys to listen to, okay? What Mom says.
Do I believe a predator could snatch her? Definitely. Do I believe she would have talked and trusted someone? Yes. Sadly, even an old man. Stephanie is so close to her grandpa. That's like one of her closest family members.
So she's close with grandpa, which in turn would make her susceptible to believing and trusting older men also. Okay.
I think she'd trust a old man for sure. For sure. Is that maybe why the neighbors that she chose to go to that truck was 80 years old? Maybe why.
Did you just hear what she said? Did you just hear what she said about an older gentleman? And Flies, I'm getting ready to talk about your thingy thing, hon.
That truck was 80 years old. Maybe why. Maybe she had spotted that neighbor.
Okay, that interview ends right there. That interview was edited. That interview was edited. Mom mentioned her going right up to a neighbor in his truck at 80 years old. Interesting, right? Okay. Let me come over here. So what do you guys think so far? Did Stephanie have the fight with her sister planned out because someone was meeting her? What else did we have? Dad not wanting anyone on the property. He's not going to judge her when he comes back. They can come to some sort of resolution with whatever happened or whatever, right? Dad talks about her and her social media. He mentions dating sites. One thing that stuck out in my head was him saying the dating sites. Mom talks about her being so trusting that she would basically trust anybody. She would basically trust anybody. Now, as far as the environment which they live in, I'm not going to sit here and say that because they live that way, that CPS should be involved or anything like that. And again, I will say, CPS was not involved in this situation, yet it was said in chat, and even though I always want receipts, I will say hearsay on that. But the girls told me that there had been a problem in Texas with a night of over drinking, but they were not arrested. But yes, they had 2 children that they had left in the car. What else? It was weird to me that Mom mentions her just going up to a neighbor's truck and the gentleman was up in years. So if she got angry and she did get to the road, like I said, I would like to know, is that a heavily trafficked road? Is there heavy traffic on it? And I'm asking these questions and I'm not going to remember them. So I'll have to get my mind back right when I talk about her again. For sure. For sure. So what do you guys think? What do you think? Flies. Hold on. You don't have a link there. Why don't you have a link? Why isn't your link to the thing on there? Ma'am. Are you here, Flies? Hello, Flies. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to really cast judgment on the way that the parents are acting. Obviously, mom is really upset. I've got it. No, I've got your channel pulled up. I just can't get to the link that you put in there. Okay, hold on. For some reason, you have it down there, but I can't click on the link for some reason. Okay, hold on. Thank you, ma'am. Give me 1 second here, you guys. We have another missing teenager. And give me 1 second. Does he have a poster, Flies? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I've got it up. Hold on, darling. Hold on, darling. Okay. And please, you guys, feel free to keep talking about Stephanie's case. We're just going to kind of, but right now there is a missing teenager. This was 2 hours ago. Thank you, Flies, for bringing this to my attention. Thank you so much. Let's see what we can find out about Tanner. Okay. I want to do it let me do it like this, because I love to keep the child's picture out. Okay. So this young man right here, London, Kentucky, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office is asking for help in locating a missing 16-year-old. According to authorities, Tanner Harness, 16, was last seen at 1 a.m. on February 7th off of Sizemore Road, about 3 miles from London, Kentucky. He is described as 6 feet 2 inches and 285 pounds with blonde hair. He was last seen wearing a light colored jacket and jeans. Authorities say he requires medication for a mental health condition. Anyone that knows the location is encouraged to reach out to the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600 or the LCSO Dispatch Center at 606-878-7000. You may also message the LCSO Facebook page or send an email to I'll spell it, ACCIARDO at warrencountysheriffs.gov. Tanner Harness, 16 years old. All right, let me try. Let me see. We've got Tanner is considered a golden alert. Considered a golden alert. This is from 6 hours ago. Let's see. I don't know if they're going to actually talk about it or not. Let's see. Hold on, you guys. Okay. Again, I'll say Tanner Harness, 16 years old, last seen at 1 a.m. off Sizemore Road near London, Kentucky. For some reason, why does that road? I've heard that road before. That's all right now. He has ADHD, suffers from disabling depression. He takes a regular meds at home. His medicine is at home. Like I said, Tanner is 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighs around 285 pounds. His blonde hair covers his ears, and he was last seen wearing a light collared jacket and blue jeans. Oh, hold on. That was 6. Okay, this was 2. I think that's the one I just... Here we go. Hold on. I am seeing all... Okay, hold on. That's kind of weird. I'm trying to see. Yeah, they said he requires medication. Are you looking on a Facebook post when they say that he has ADHD? Because I was trying to find whatever you were looking at. Oh, okay. So they already have a Facebook post, Facebook up for him. Okay, well, that makes it a little different. All right, give me a minute. Thank you for putting that on my community page too, Flies. Thank you for that. I will also change my title and make sure that his name is also in there so people become aware of the situation. Okay, what am I looking? Okay. I'm gonna start writing these. I want to write that down. Missing and endangered. That way I can find them myself. I don't have to bother you, even though you're quicker than. What was the character that went Reba, Londe, brrr. It's on the one I just clicked. Oh, you talked to the sheriff? Okay. All right then. So basically that's what the sheriff told you. You could have just said, I talked to the sheriff. Okay, so he's got ADHD and suffering from disabling depression. And then other than that, they're not saying a whole lot more. But it was nice that the neighbor told you that, or the sheriff. Cool. Oh, shit. Ugh. Sorry, guys. But this is who they are looking for. Yeah, I pulled it. I've got it pulled up. National Center for Missing and Endangered. I've got it pulled up. Nothing more he just found like all these others. Yeah, I've got it pulled up right here. Okay, hold on a minute. Exited out of where I was just at. So was he last seen at his house? Did somebody see him? A lot of times if they're missing from their home, they'll say he's missing from his home. But I guess we'll learn that as the story comes out. Okay, hang on. I'll have to, let me come over and grab that link you just put in. I may already have it pulled up, but you got junk in your trunk. Is that what you said? You got junk in your trunk? Yeah, I've got that pulled up. That's what I was showing. Yeah, I already had that pulled up. I was showing it just a minute ago. Oh, what I do, get out of it to go back to the link again? No, this is it. All the information is right here. So he was at his house. Well, he needs to be found. And thank you for bringing it to my attention. So, again, a golden alert has been issued for a missing juvenile out of London, Kentucky. The sheriff's office requests the public's assistance locating 16-year-old Tanner Harness. Tanner requires ADHD and medication for depression issues. Tanner is 6'2", 285 pounds, blonde hair covering his ears. He was last seen at 1 a.m. on 2/7/2025 off of Sizemore Road, 3 miles south of London, Kentucky. Last seen wearing light colored jacket and jeans. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Tanner Harness, please contact the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-865-6600 or 608-878-7000, which is 7 with triple zeros, or 7 with 3 zeros, or 7000. Please, anyone that might be in that area, if you see this young man, please contact law enforcement. As I say, in all missing children's cases, please, please have relevant information. Please do not bog law enforcement down with a lot of speculation. For real. For real. Oh my God, they're dropping like flies fly. We got 4 people in here. But that's fine because this is important. Have you ever noticed, flies, if we were talking about drama or something like that, we'd have a ton of people in here. But we talk about missing children and what can happen to them or what could happen to them. And they're just not interested. So, but for those of you who care, this 16-year-old boy is missing. He takes medication that he has to take. And yes, he's a 16-year-old. 16-year-old do 16-year-old things. But if he was last seen at 1 a.m. and he's out there somewhere, hopefully someone will see this. They run away from me. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing that on your community wall. Thank you, ma'am. That's what I was wondering, if they already had a missing poster made of him. How long does it take them to find that? To do the posters? I am going to find out. He does not, that I see, have a poster out as of yet. See, and this is how misinformation gets spread, because there is a site on Facebook, Kentucky Missing People, and they have the time that Tanner was last seen as 11:15 a.m. So and this must be a different group than what we were looking at. This is Kentucky Missing People. Content isn't available right now. All right, well, sorry, Kentucky Missing People. There's a poster from, this is put out by the Laurel County Sheriff's Department. There we go. Here you go. Here you go. Have Duchess make you one of what? A poster? Yeah, right here is the one from the sheriff's office. Absolutely. Right now, we don't have any information to put out there, but I'm going to be sitting on my computer for a while because I got a bunch of research I need to do. I'll keep checking to see if there's an update. Sheriff's office says last seen at 1 a.m. Last seen at 1 a.m. He needed ADHD medication and depression issues. He needs his medication. Hopefully, he is found quickly. Contact the Laurel Sheriff's contact the Laurel Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600 or 911 Dispatch Center at 606-878-7000 or personal message the Laurel County Sheriff's Office on Facebook or email to g.acciardo at laurelcountysheriffs.gov. Thank you, Flies. I appreciate you, girl. You were quick. You were Speedy Gonzalez today. You were. So I will take this and put it on my community wall. And you already put it on the Facebook page. So yeah, you guys consider joining the Facebook group. I love when people put silly stuff up there. Flies is always putting something in there. Actually, I was going to show something that you had put in the Facebook page, but I have to find it. Yeah, let me find it. It was pretty funny. Boy, we got all these missing kids. Oh, right here. This is so funny. I was like, is this flies? Hold on. Watch this. Watch your ears. Watch your ears. Seriously. Watch your ears. Trigger warning. Watch your ears. I don't know. This could be me. I ain't lying. Get ready. That is the cutest thing ever. For real. Okay. So we've got two people that we're looking for, and that is Stephanie Damron. She is now 14. From Maine. And we have a golden alert for Tanner Harness out of Kentucky. I wish I knew how to split my screen. I like the Listen Linda one too. They had a vigil for Stephanie. Well, that's good. But I have to say that, you know, when we look at these missing children cases, and anytime that the parents give an interview, you all have to be honest, and you know that somewhere in that interview, you're going to find something that you don't like what was said, or you don't like daddy's attitude, or, you know, something about mommy. You guys got to admit it. You have to admit that you're not looking at these things and trying to see their point of view, okay? And if you say that you are not looking for any negativity, I'd like to have $1 for each time. Oh, thanks, Jenny. I'll write that down, honey. December 21st on WAGM TV. Thank you, Jenny. Because I do appreciate, I do absolutely try to do my own research, especially when it comes to missing and exploited children. And sometimes I need led in a certain direction because I don't see everything. Yeah, we saying she's not a fan of dads already. Anyone wanting to, oh yeah, that is true. Thank you, Flies. If you join our Facebook group and you come in under your real name, we will not call you by your YouTube name. If you come on YouTube and we know your real name, we're not going to call you your real name on YouTube. You get it? You get what I'm saying? That's one thing that we do try to do is, you know, that's the way it should be, in my opinion. But so this is Stephanie missing, and this is Tanner Harness missing. Not all cases have villains, but they all do have victims. That well said. Well said, Flies. Because them living the way that they were, it does speak volumes on Dad not wanting a bunch of people around. And you guys have to admit, if a group of people came to look for your child, why are the parents being questioned by searchers about why they don't have electricity? And, you know, I can understand asking about the Wi-Fi. I can understand that. But maybe Dad felt that some of these searchers were overstepping their bounds on what type of information they needed. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and say that's what the searchers did, but, you know, we really need to take that into account. But I do get what Dad is saying now, that he won't judge her. It honestly sounds to me like Dad thinks that she's taken off with somebody she met on the internet. That's the way it seems to me. I don't know about anybody else, but that's the way it seems to me. The way that he spoke about it, the dating site. He specifically said dating site for a reason, in my opinion. And I really think that he believes she met someone and she is out and about with them and she needs to come home. Yet we have to remember that if she met someone on social media, that doesn't mean that she was actually meeting the individual that she thought she was meeting. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that's what happened. I don't know. I wasn't there. But that could well be the case. And if that is the case, they need to find her. They need to find her. Just as well as like with Sebastian Rogers. Is that possibility there that that could have happened? Absolutely. They need to find him. Summer. They need to find Summer. Summer wasn't even old enough to have a social media, if you know what I mean. Well, I guess Dad found out. I guess Dad finally looked at Grandpa's phone, maybe. Law enforcement has looked at that phone. Yeah, they have turned Sebastian's case into a mess. I mean, I heard what Justin did and seen Nancy Grace thing and seen that. But to me, just like in Summer's case, that's a fire all on its own. That crap is a fire all on its own. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So those are, some people would call them distractions. Some people would call them distractions. I call them little fires. Little fires. What? What do you think about proof? Are you talking about Andy Bernard? You say AB. Are you speaking of Andy Bernard that day? Well, I mean, his job has repeatedly said he was there. Detective Pruitt basically told him that if he had a problem with Andy, that, you know, quit listening to Fred Hill. That was a law enforcement officer basically telling us that Fred Hill is full of crap and he doesn't know why anybody listens to Fred anyway. Did you hear where they hung up on Ziggy? Who hung up on Ziggy? Law enforcement? Why would she think? I don't know. I wouldn't have the balls to call law enforcement if I was her. What was she calling for? Inquiring minds want to know. Why was she calling law enforcement? Type it in the chat for me. I'm gonna go grab me, fill my coffee cup back up. Okay. Well, hang on. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. Talking about Andy meeting a blue truck on Simpson Road because Fred said so. She asked him for info and said, I will not put it on YouTube. And they finally hung up. We said about the dark blue pickup. And Ziggy thought AB was meeting with the person, but windows were too dark. So Fred couldn't see them. Oh. Let me ask you a question. How come that's just coming out now? How come Fred is just remembering now? For real. They were believing them. You might midnight rider, you. Isn't that ridiculous? And look, I don't care who watches Ziggy. It ain't, I'd stay in my lane on that because I quit listening to that ridiculous shit a long time ago. A long time ago. Heck, I backed off from that before she even married Fred. So, but if you like you some Ziggy, you go get you some Ziggy. I mean, she ain't doing too bad. She ain't doing too bad. I mean, people's even called out and showed where Fred ain't told the truth, and Ziggy doesn't care. That's her man. She gonna stand by her man. That's exactly what's happening there. That's why I pay no mind. I mean, I don't know why Andy's place of business would lie about that. Because I can guarantee you that TBI and FBI probably went to his job. I don't trust anything he's saying. At all. Okay, y'all, I got 10 minutes. Doesn't come from Ellie, I ain't interested. Well, I'm that way too, Poppy. I'm that way too. They told 3 separate creators, as far as I know. He was there and seen on camera. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. Why, where would it benefit his employer to lie? Where would that benefit there? And while we're on this little topic, did anyone ever see an interview that Don Wells' boss gave to anyone? I'm just asking. So people saying that they know why Don got fired and all of that other stuff, I don't believe that anyone's had that conversation with Tucker Drywall, the big boss. That's exactly what Detective Pruitt said. That's exactly what Pruitt said. I don't know why anybody's listening to Fred Hill. I mean, Hangman Ziggy ain't doing bad over there. Is that all you have to do to make money off of YouTube is be a liar? I'm just asking, I don't know. For real. But I've never heard an interview. Well, I heard, this is what I heard. This is hearsay, everybody, okay? That he was asked to stay off of social media while he was at work. He was asked to stay off YouTube while he was at work and he didn't do it. That's what I heard. But like I said, I wasn't there, so I don't know. Because that's what I always thought too, that he got fired because of what Molly and them were doing. Well, his co-workers were standing up for him. Don's co-workers were standing up for him, telling them that Don was a good dad. He treated his kids good. That is what they said. Because they came out of the homes they were working on. I remember that. They came out of the homes they were working on. But that shows you the mentality right there. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that shows you Betty's actions because that goes way back. That goes way back. Yeah, but well, they don't like that stuff going on their site. But if you're told you can keep your job, stay off social media, and Don didn't do that, which of course, maybe Don not really thinking that every time he was going live from in that house, he was working for Tucker Drywall. I'm sure there were people out the wazoo trying to contact that man. But I do remember his co-workers coming out and saying that they felt that Don was a good dad. He was good to his boys. Yeah, they did come out and say that. But working for Tucker and being in one of those houses and live streaming it or being on a live stream, because I am sure, I thought, this is what I actually thought, that from what was being said about him and Jeannie and stuff, and that Tucker's wife kept getting contacted on Facebook, and the things that were being said about Don, I heard that's was why he got fired. So I don't know the real answer to that, because like I said, Tucker's never came out and spoke to anyone on social media at all, as far as I know. I could be wrong. If I am, somebody let me know. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But if you remember correctly, Don repeatedly, yeah, my boss covered for me. My boss told him, my boss did this, my boss did that, right? He told him. Then Don got angry with him. Why did Don get angry with him? Don was angry enough at that man that he came on a social media platform and laughed about a horrible, made up rumor, Don says, towards Tucker involving Summer. It was horrible. I'm not going to repeat it because it was horrible. It was horrible what he said, and he thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. Kind of tells you it tells you a lot. I mean, we look at Dawn and Candace both. Candace called Mary upset, crying. I mean, she was ugly crying. You can hear the ugly cry in that cry. And thought it was funny. Dawn's doing stuff like taking a picture of a baby doll that looks like a live baby and putting it down a trash barrel or whatever he did and taking a picture of it. I think he took a picture of it. So, very sad, very sad. But like I said, Sebastian's case, I think if people would designate the trash to different areas and look at the real evidence in Sebastian's case, it's going to be a lot different. So, I see Sean, I'll call him Sean, going out there and, you know, I think the first time I was really disturbed at what he said, and it was on Pascal's. And he talked about Sebastian, and he started sexualizing Sebastian, talking about inappropriate behavior. Sebastian, you know, didn't respect other people's boundaries at times. That bothered me. And maybe I'm weird that it bothered me, but I always have to think that if someone has him that was watching Seth and on these social media platforms speaking that way, I don't know. That's my, you know, that's just how I think. I think a lot differently than a lot of people. I know I'm weird. I know I'm low level weird. But I just think that way. It's little fires. Everybody's got their own trash barrel on social media. We have designated trash cans on social media. So, all right, guys, I've been on here 3 hours. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming over and talking about Stephanie Damrose. Let me show her picture again. She's been missing since September 23rd, 2024 from New Sweden, Maine. She is now 14 years old. She is now 14 years old. We also have Tanner Harness. Let's see, I don't think I can make that any bigger. There we go. Tanner Harness. Missing in Kentucky. He has been issued a golden alert. We don't have a lot of information right now. As soon as I can get an update, I will put it out here. Tanner was reported missing and last seen at 1 a.m. on February 7th, 2025, off of Sizemore Road 3 miles south of London. He is described as a white male, 6'2", 285 pounds. Wow, he is a tall 16-year-old. That's tall, right? 6'2". 285 pounds, blonde hair that covers his ears. He is wearing a light collared jacket and blue jeans. He does need medication for ADHD and depression. Again, if anyone knows the whereabouts of Tanner, contact the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600 or 911 dispatch at 606-878-7000. Or you can personally message the Laurel County Sheriff's Office on Facebook or email to g.acciardo at laurelcountysheriffs.gov. I would love for Tanner to be found by this evening. I know it's already 4 o'clock. Yes, he's very tall. Very tall. Being 6'2" and 285 pounds. If someone sees him, please call law enforcement. And please remember that if he takes these medications and he's not able to access them when he needs them again, please, this is just my opinion, don't rush up on him. Be very careful. You don't know what condition he's going to be in. So please be very careful. I'm not saying that he would harm anyone or anything like that. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm going to get off here. Thank you so much. Flies, I'm going to go in and change this title and get his name in there too. And I'm also going to put it on the community page. Like I said, you've already got it on the Facebook page. I'm going to be sitting here probably for a couple more hours. I've got some stuff I need to research. and I'll try to keep an update, or you can just holler at me, Flies. That will work out. And don't shoot me, but I'm not gonna do the live tonight on the Boswell trial. I promise we will get to it. There's a lot of things that have happened in court, and that's why I need to take a little bit of time. And you guys, I'm sure some of you realize how when you're talking about missing and exploited children, it is very hard to pick what child you want to cover. I think what I want to try to do, if I can do it, I say this and then I don't get it done, is putting out a lot of the posters on my community page. And that way, even if I don't get a chance to cover it, thoroughly, then at least those will be out for people to look at. So I should have been doing that all along. And so I want to strive to do that in 2025. Just put an 18-year-old girl on the Facebook group from the same area up there also. So we've got another one missing. Are you kidding me? That's what I said. I mean, how do you prioritize? Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I told you I was leaving. Oh, I don't see it on the Facebook page. I don't see it. I've got the Facebook page pulled up. Let me, I know you're not kidding. Give me a minute. I got to get out of my Facebook because I got to get, maybe I'll get an update like this because I didn't see it, ma'am. If you put it in our group. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, she was just... both of them near I-75. All right, here we go. We got another one. Lana Green, 18 years old. Reported missing. Last known location was possibly southern Laurel County. On Friday morning, February 7th, 2025. She is 5'5", 119 pounds, white female, brown shoulder-length hair, brown eyes, has depression issues, possibly driving a 2013 red Kia Optima, Kentucky tag, D as in David, 8. A as in Alpha, 445. If anyone knows the whereabouts of this person, they are asked to contact the Laurel Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600 or the 911 Dispatch Center at 606-878-7000 or personal message the g.acciardo at laurelcountysheriffs.gov. Both cases, Tanner Harness So I will have to do a little bit more research. Well, I should pull up the sheriff's page. I want to see what they. Okay. I will check into that. And hang on. Oh no. Okay, that's the one I just showed. Okay. So talking about one case turned into 3. That's how easy it can be. These kids, it's a whole new world. Things that went on when we were younger and stuff, we didn't look at it like we're having to look at these cases now. She's a beautiful 18-year-old girl. A beautiful 18-year-old girl. So, like I said, I'll look into that. There's no okay, hold on. What you got, boys? Is that the link I'm looking for? Hold on. I'm looking for a specific link. Here we go. Let's see if we can get any more information. Or are you just giving me the link? Yeah, that's the only thing they have. They don't even have any information. That was her last known location. Was possibly in southern Laurel County on Friday morning. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Even though she's legally an adult, she's still a kid. She's still a kid. So we will keep up on Lana also. Let me say these names again and show you their posters. Stephanie Damron. She's been missing since September 23rd of last year. We have Tanner Harness, who just went missing earlier. Oh, thank you, Flies. Thank you. Tanner takes medication for ADHD and depression issues. And like I said, he's 16 years old. If he starts going without his medication and he needs it, just please be careful. Not because I think Tanner would do anything to anybody, because he's probably going to be frightened at some point. I kind of hope he went to some friend's house and didn't tell anybody. That's wishful thinking there. Then we have Lana Green, 18. She went missing Friday morning, the 7th, 2025, 5'5", 119 pounds. You can go to the Sheriff Laurel County Facebook and get that information there. Okay, so I need to transfer these two over to the community tab. Okay. All right. All right. Even though I have OCD, I've been on here 3 hours and 15 minutes, and people were probably really tired of hearing me talk. And my throat is kind of tired of talking. The weather here, it was real cold. Then it got real nice. Now it's freezing again. Do I want to see a funny? Of course I want to see a funny, Poppy. You know I do. We do try to lighten it up at the end of these lives because this is a lot. All right, what are you doing to me, Poppy? What are you doing to me? Let me see first. I'm not falling for it. I gotta see first. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, where are you? Okay, wait, Poppy. Why am I not seeing you here? There it is. I found you, darling. I found you. Don't worry. Okay, hold on. Oh man, Poppy. Does it have music in it? Oh, I've seen this. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble. Can you put it in? Okay, can you give them credit, Poppy? Or I can? Okay, I'm going to hang on to this. I want to keep this. I want to keep this. I want to use it, Poppy. Thank you, though. I've seen this. It's freaking hilarious. I thought I'd seen it on Facebook, though. I'm not sure. Okay. I really got to get off here. But thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna say that, Poppy. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it because it is funny. Okay, you guys, I do appreciate you. I know that this has been a really long live, but we got 3 children's names out there. And yes, you may think the 18-year-old isn't a child, but to me, an 18-year-old is still a child. Okay? So, let's keep their names out there. We will be talking more about Stephanie Damron, 14 years old, missing. We will be talking more about Tanner Harness. And we will be talking more about Lana Green. I'm praying that Tanner is found quickly and that he's okay. Right? Oh, cool. Yeah, put it in the Facebook group. Then I'll play it. I just don't like to play a lot of YouTube channels anymore. But it is really funny. If you threw it in there, I'll come over and grab it real quick. I will, because it is funny. All right, hold on. I got to pull up our Facebook group. Hang on. Let me get in our Facebook group here. Boom. Da 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 da. Oh, it's not there. What's going on with you, flies? What is going on with you, lady? It's okay. I'll keep it and show it next time. No, it's fine. It's fine, Poppy. You are good in the hood. Like I said, thank you guys so much. Thank you, flies. You are quick Lincoln lady. And Poppy, you are very supportive of my channel, and I appreciate you so much. You are always here when I'm live, even if you're working. But we're not going to tell your bosses that, okay? Actually, I think you should tell them they have to give you, they have to pay you 2 hours a day for doing it. Yep. They can pay you for letting you come over here. That's what I'm saying. But they probably wouldn't like me being live half the day. What do you mean it's there? I just went to my... What is it on your community? On yours? Because I'm not seeing it. I have the group pulled up. I'm not seeing it at all. I've got the missing person, Lana Green. I've got, okay, wait, I don't see it. I swear I don't see it. And I'm in the group. I am in the group. What the heck is that? So I did. I'll completely get out of Facebook and go back. Let's completely knock everything off in Facebook. And I will go back into Facebook and see if it's in there this time. I am going to, well, that's okay. All right. I was going, okay. I see it now. I see it now. I didn't see it before. Well, that's another case. Hold on. I'm seeing another case about a mother getting arrested for her 15-month-old child ingesting meth. I see that. But as far as going into the group, let me see. I'll try it again. Hold on. Let's go into my porch talking group. It's not, I'm not seeing it. I'm not at all. Let me see. I don't even know. No, ma'am. I am not seeing it. Hold on. Let me try it this way. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. I should be able to see it. But I am going to my porch talking and I'm not seeing it. So I'll have to figure it out because all I'm seeing is the missing, 2 missing persons cases that's in there. I'm not seeing anything else. Okay, I'm going to get off here. I will, I'll find it and pull it up. What do you mean that's it? This story about this woman? Is that what you're talking about? I thought, oh, no, I thought you were sending me a, I thought that you were sending me that, that joke that Poppy put in chat. So that's why I was lost. Okay? I was lost. But there's a woman yesterday that was arrested named Jessica Mills. And this is Laurel County also. Jessica Mills, age 32, of Laurel River County Church Road, on Wednesday night, February 5th, at approximately 8:43 p.m. is when they arrested her. So Laurel County 911 Communication Center took a complaint off of an individual on Laurel River Church Road, 7 miles southeast of London, that a 15-month-old child, trigger warning, had allegedly ingested a small bag of meth. When deputies arrived at the scene, They located the plastic bag containing a bag that was field tested and tested positive for the substance. The child was transported to CHI St. Joseph Hospital, London, for treatment and was in stable condition. The child's mother, Jessica Mills, was charged with criminal abuse and first-degree child 12 or under and was lodged in the Laurel County Correctional Center. Photo of the accused is attached, courtesy of the Correctional Center. They tell everyone who assisted at the scene. There she is. There she is. No, it's good. I'm going to pull that joke up next time I go live, you guys. It is really funny. It is really funny. So thanks for reminding me about it, Poppy. It was really cute. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Now I'm at 3.5 hours and I am going. I am leaving. Please remember the missing children, you guys. It's really important. It's really important. So I have not forgotten the Megan Boswell case. I haven't forgotten about that. I promise I will get some info together on the trial itself and we'll have a open discussion about it. So I appreciate you. Thank you guys for being there. And yeah. Peace out, everybody. And please share, if you're capable, please share out these posters. Please do. Have a great day and night and life. For real. Okay, peace out, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.